Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. We all know the story of the AI gold rush, and if AI is the gold, Nvidia is the one company that found the motherlode. Its GPUs are the engines driving this entire revolution, and the stock's performance has been nothing short of historic. But here's the thing about a gold rush. The most reliable way to build lasting wealth wasn't always by panning for gold. It was by selling the picks, the shovels, the denim jeans, and the wheelbarrows to all the miners rushing in. That's the picks and shovels strategy. It's about identifying the critical suppliers, the companies that provide the essential, non-negotiable infrastructure that makes the entire boom possible. Today, we're going beyond Nvidia. We're looking for the picks and shovels of the next phase of this build. Out. Because make no mistake, what we are witnessing is the single largest infrastructure project in human history, the construction of the AI cloud. This new cloud is not like the old cloud. It has different problems, different bottlenecks, and it requires entirely new solutions. The companies that solve these new bottlenecks will be the next generation of titans. So today, I'm giving you 3 companies that are not just part of this trend, but are fundamentally essential to it. These are the 3 picks and shovels stocks that are quietly taking over the AI cloud. Before we dive into the first name, we need to understand why the AI cloud is so different. The classic cloud, the one we've used for the last 15 years, was built for millions of separate small tasks: a Google search, an Instagram photo load, an email. This is called north-south traffic data moving from the data center out to you, the user. The AI cloud is the opposite. It's built for one monstrously large task, training a large language model. To do this, you need to connect tens of thousands of GPUs into a single massive supercomputer. They all need to talk to each other all at once, constantly. This is east-west traffic data moving between servers, or more specifically, between GPUs. If this connection is slow, it doesn't matter how powerful your GPUs are. Your multi-billion-dollar AI factory grinds to a halt. The network is the computer. This is the single biggest bottleneck in AI, and the company solving it is our first pick. Arista Networks. Arista, or ANET, is the king of high-performance networking. If you think of data center networking, you might think of Cisco. Cisco is a fantastic company, but it was built for the old cloud. Arista was built from day one for this moment. They don't make the plumbing for your office building. They make the high-pressure, high-volume pipes for a supercomputing cluster. Their core product is a suite of high-speed Ethernet switches, but their secret weapon is their software, EOS, the Extensible Operating System. It's a single software image that runs across all their products, making it incredibly stable, scalable, and easy to manage for the hyperscale data centers. No, here's the real story. Nvidia knew the network was the bottleneck. That's why they spent $7 billion to buy a company called Mellanox, which makes a proprietary networking standard called InfiniBand. For a while, InfiniBand was the only game in town for AI, but the market, especially the giant cloud providers, hates being locked into a single proprietary standard. They want an open, high-performance alternative. That alternative is Ethernet, and Arista is the champion of high-performance Ethernet. They are a founding member of the Ultra Ethernet Consortium, a group that includes Microsoft, Meta, AMD, and Intel, all dedicated to building an open standard networking solution for AI. Arista's 2 biggest customers are Microsoft and Meta. Let that sink in. These are 2 of the 4 largest AI infrastructure builders on the planet. When Meta's Mark Zuckerberg posts about building a massive cluster with 350 Nvidia H100 GPUs, who do you think is connecting all of them? It's Arista. They are winning the AI networking war. They are providing the critical picks and shovels, the high-speed roads that connect every single GPU factory. From an investment standpoint, Arista is what you get if you combine a hardware company's critical product with a software company's margins. Their management team, led by CEO Jayshree Ullal, is one of the best in the business. They have consistently grown revenue and profits, and their entry into the AI networking space has created an entirely new, massive growth vector. As AI models get bigger, the demand for faster, more robust networking doesn't just go up, it goes up exponentially. Arista is the purest play stock to capture this non-stop demand for AI data traffic. If this kind of deep dive analysis into the real infrastructure of AI is valuable to you, do me a quick favor and tap that like button. It's the best way to tell me you want more content that looks past the headlines and into the fundamentals. It really helps the channel, and I appreciate it, okay? So we've used Arista to network our 20,000 GPUs together. Now we have a new problem, a massive physical laws of physics problem, heat and power. A single server rack in a traditional data center might draw 10 to 15 kilowatts of power. An AI server rack packed with 8 or more H100 GPUs can draw 70 kilowatts, and the next generation will draw over 100 kilowatts. That is an insane power density, and all of that power, every single watt, is ultimately converted into one thing, heat. You cannot cool a 70 kilowatts rack with a simple fan. The old method of air cooling is officially dead. The physics just doesn't work. If you can't cool the chips, you can't run the AI cluster. This is the new bottleneck. This brings us to our second company, Vertiv, ticker VRT. If Arista is the high-tech nervous system of the AI cloud, Vertiv is the critical industrial circulatory and respiratory system. Vertiv makes the picks and shovels of physical data center infrastructure, uninterruptible power supplies, UPS power distribution units, PEEPDUS, and most importantly, thermal management and liquid cooling. For years, Vertiv was, frankly, a pretty boring industrial company. It was spun out of Emerson Electric, went through private equity, and made the plumbing for data centers. It was a stable, low-growth business. Then AI happened, and suddenly the boring stuff they specialized in high-density power management and advanced thermal solutions became the most critical, white-hot center of the entire AI build-out. Vertiv is a leader in what's called liquid cooling. This is no longer a niche, experimental technology. It is the requirement. There are two main types. The first is direct, to chip liquid cooling, where small pipes run a coolant directly over the hottest components, the GPU and the CPU, to pull heat away. The second, and more extreme, is immersion cooling, where you literally submerge the entire server in a tank of non-conductive dielectric fluid. Vertiv makes the solutions for all of it. The opportunity for Vertiv is twofold. First, there's the greenfield opportunity. These are the brand new billion-dollar data centers being built from scratch. Specifically for AI, these facilities are designed from day one with liquid cooling and massive power infrastructure. Vertiv is at the design table selling entire integrated systems. But the second and perhaps larger opportunity is brownfield, the retrofitting of existing data centers. The world's cloud providers have spent $1 trillion over the last decade building a global fleet of air-cooled data centers. They can't just throw them away. They need to upgrade them to handle AI workloads. This is where Vertiv shines. They sell solutions like rear door heat exchangers, essentially massive liquid-cooled radiators that bolt onto existing server racks, allowing a data center to double or triple its power density without having to rip out the entire building. This has completely transformed Vertiv's financials. Their order backlog, especially for AI-related thermal and power solutions, has exploded. Management has been clear on their earnings calls. AI is no longer a small part of their business. It is the primary growth driver for the foreseeable future. Every single Nvidia H100, H200 or Blackwell GPU that gets sold requires a new power and cooling solution. Nvidia sells the engine, Vertiv sells the high-performance radiator, the fuel pump, and the chassis required to keep it from exploding. It's the ultimate picks and shovels play on the physical limits of AI. So we have our network from Arista and our power and cooling from Vertiv. We've built the physical data center, but what about the heart of it all? The chips themselves. We all know Nvidia, but the dirty secret of the AI arms race is that nobody wants to be dependent on a single supplier. Not Microsoft, not Google, not Amazon, not Meta, and not even Tesla. Nvidia's 80% plus gross margins are a tax on the entire industry, and every other major tech company is in a desperate race to build their own custom AI chips. Google has its TPUs, Amazon has Trainium and Inferentia, Microsoft has Maya, Tesla has Dojo. This is the custom silicon or ASIC revolution. This is where investors often make a mistake. They try to pick the winner. Will it be AMD? Will it be Nvidia? Will Google's TPU win? But as a picks and shovels investor, you don't have to. What if there was a company that gets paid every single time any of them designs a new chip? What if there was a company that sold the blueprints, the design tools, and the digital factories to every side in the AI chip war? There is. And it's our third stock, Synopsys, ticker SNPs. Synopsys is one of the quietest monopolies in all of technology. They operate in a space called EDA, or Electronic Design Automation. Simply put, Synopsys makes the software that is used to design semiconductors. You literally cannot design a modern, complex chip like an AI GPU without using EDA software. It is the AutoCAD, or Photoshop for chip designers. If cost millions of dollars in licenses and was used to design trillion-dollar industries. Synopsys operates in a duopoly with one other company, Cadence Design Systems. Between them, they control almost the entire market. The switching costs are astronomically high. Engineers spend their entire careers learning this software. Chip designs that cost billions to R&D are built on these platforms. No one is going to switch to a cheaper, unproven alternative to save a few $1,000,000. This makes Synopsys a phenomenal picks and shovels business in any environment. But AI has given it two new, massive tailwinds. The first is the obvious one, the chip arms race. As I said, everyone is designing AI chips. Nvidia is a massive customer using Synopsys tools to design its next generation Blackwell GPUs, but so is AMD, and so is Intel. And so are Microsoft, Google, and Amazon for their custom ASICs. Synopsys is the ultimate arms dealer. They don't care who wins the AI chip war because they are selling the weapons to everyone. The more complex the chips get, and AI chips are, the most complex chips ever designed, the more of Synopsys' high-margin software is required. But the second tailwind is even more brilliant. Synopsys is now using AI inside its own software to help designers make chips faster. Their product, Synopsys IE, is a full suite of AI-driven tools. It helps engineers explore the design space, optimize for power, and find bugs before the chip ever gets to a factory. This is a virtuous cycle. They are using AI to sell more tools to the very people building AI. It's a Fay Picks and Shovels, Fay company using AI to build better picks and shovels. From an investment perspective, this is a software as a service business with a mission, critical nature of infrastructure. We're talking 80 to 90% recurring revenue, near monopoly pricing power, and a total addressable market that is exploding not just from chip design, but from system design. Their recent massive acquisition of Ansys, a simulation software company, shows this clearly. They're moving beyond just designing the chip to simulating the entire system, how the chip interacts with the circuit board, the network, and the liquid cooling from Vertiv. If you are a new investor trying to understand these complex ecosystems, this is the kind of second-level thinking we do on this channel every single week. This is the perfect time to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss the next deep dive. So let's bring it all together. The AI revolution is real, but instead of just chasing the gold, the AI models, or even Nvidia, we're looking at the picks and shovels. We're looking for the critical, non-negotiable, and irreplaceable suppliers to this massive infrastructure build-out. We've identified 3 bottlenecks and 3 companies that dominate them. First, the network bottleneck. AI clusters are useless if they're slow. Arista Networks, ANIT, is the champion of high-performance Ethernet, connecting the massive GPU clusters for the world's biggest cloud providers. Second, the physics bottleneck. AI runs hot and eats power. Vertiv is the leader in liquid cooling and power management, providing the critical physical infrastructure that makes AI data centers possible. And third, the design bottleneck. The AI arms race is a chip design race. Synopsys SMPs is the quiet monopoly that sells the essential EDA software blueprints to every single company designing an AI chip. The network, the power, and the blueprints. Together, these three companies form the true backbone of the AI cloud. They are the picks and shovels stocks that are quietly taking over long after the Nvidia headlines have faded. This is, of course, just a framework for your own research, not financial advice, but it's how I'm thinking about the next phase of this AI secular trend. Now, I want to hear from you. What picks and shovels plays are on your radar? What other critical bottlenecks do you see emerging in the AI build? Drop your thoughts, your picks, and your questions in the comments section below. I read all of them. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.